Two dreams, two tragedies. Lurking in the fog of the Boston harbor lies Spectacle Island. Today, let's take a swim and a walk exploring the story and tragedy of Spectacle Island. As we approach the island from its westward side, we can see the remnants of the main manor and facilities from before the war. We can also see our first signs of modern influence with the most recent docks being constructed. As we explore the dock and fishing hut further, we can see that after the bombs fell, settlers have clearly expanded and actively been using the fishing area, most likely as a way to get food. As we continue up the road, we can see a workshop in the ruins of the manor. Now first I want to walk by the manor and take a look at the workshop. The workshop is in by far the best condition out of any of the buildings still standing. If we head inside, we can see signs of activities as well as projects, as the settlers most likely use this as a hub for maintenance. Returning to the mansion, and we find our first corpse. Now I have three theories as to what could have killed this settler. The first, being the most boring, is that he just died during construction. As we can clearly see, he's scavenging and repairing the building, so he most likely maybe fell while he was doing this. The second theory would be that he died as the result of a raider attack, as we find later evidence that raiders had attacked the island. The third theory, being the most interesting, is that he was flung off the building as the result of a mini-nuke, as we find an undetonated warhead inside of the building, as well as a Fat Man launcher later as we explore the island. If we head south of the manor, we will find two large fishing boats that appear to have been beached as a result of the original explosion during the Great War. Around these boats we can find some mirelurks, and inside we can find some cache supplies, suggesting that the settlers hadn't yet explored this area. Returning ashore and heading northward, and we will stumble upon the ruins of an attempted farm. Now, judging by the supplies and the fencing around it, it looks like they were attempting to grow crops as well as possibly raise Brahmin. But in the unknown time since the settlement has fallen, it has fallen into ruin. If we head southeast of the farm, we will find what's left of a home built by the settlers. Outside of the home we can find some mirelurks, and inside of the home we will find two corpses. Now it's obvious that these settlers were in some sort of fight, but whether they died to the mirelurks or the raiders is yet unknown. Backtracking north from the house, and we'll find a large shipping barge, most likely beached as a result of the initial explosion during the Great War. Surrounding this barge we can find several mirelurks as well as a corpse of a settler. Now I think it's safe to assume that this settler died to the mirelurks due to the sheer amount of them surrounding his corpse. As we continue to explore the barge, we will notice that it's completely packed to the brim with supplies, notably for the Vault-Tec company, suggesting that this was carrying supplies for one of the vaults. As we push further, we will notice a bunch of strange mannequins facing the entry points, which I believe was an intimidation tactic set up by the settlers, because as we reach the end, we will see a ginormous cache of safes packed to the brim with valuables that the settlers were most likely trying to keep safe and get inside slowly because they are locked behind advanced locks. One thing that I find interesting is the safe that's on the edge of the shipping container. This looks like it's getting ready to be pushed off. If we head to the little shack nearby, we will find a dead settler, as well as another safe that he appeared to have pushed off and dragged all the way to his little hut. Returning to the island and heading along the coast, and we will find an outhouse. Inside we will find two skeletons. I believe this is the original owners of the island, and when the bombs originally fell, they went to the outhouse to get wild with it one more time with some camels. Continuing to the center of the island, and we will find the settlers' most crucial and unique tool of defense, a siren that repels the mirelurks. I believe that prior to or in the chaos of the raider attack, this siren got disabled, allowing for the mirelurks to assault in full force. If we follow the power lines connected to the siren southward, we will reach another beached boat, but this time in much better condition and with a working generator inside. We will also find a Fat Man. Upon turning on the generator, a bunch of mirelurks will begin to attack the settlement. Now I believe that while the settlers were using this boat as a massive source of power, that this boat also attracted a ton of mirelurks, and that they needed the siren to repel the threat. If you remember back to my earlier theory about the first corpse, the body was flung from the building with an undetonated warhead still inside. I believe that it's entirely possible during the mirelurk attack that one of the settlers or the raiders shot a mini nuke at the mirelurk queen and missed, hitting the building, killing the settler inside. And finally, just north of the boat, we will find our final building with the body of a raider and a settler. Now, I believe it's entirely possible that the raider carried out an attack on the settlement by himself, destroying the power source, causing chaos, but I also do believe it's possible other raiders were present, getting eaten by the Mirelurks. Either way, the story of this island is a tragedy. And with that, we conclude our walk and tour of the tale of Spectacle Island. Thank you all for watching, and I hopefully will see you soon.